A surgeon's steady hands replace a failing human heart with a machine that pulses with artificial rhythm. What was once a miracle, now routine procedure. In labs across the world, scientists edit strands of DNA with exquisite precision, banishing inherited disease like ancient demons cast out by prayer. If we, at last, command the wonders once attributed to the divine, what happens to faith, reverence, and the hunger for miracles? For millennia, miracles have stood at the trembling boundary between the possible and the impossible. Moses parts the Red Sea, the Buddha's footsteps blossom with lotus flowers, Jesus walks upon water. Each miracle serves as a rupture in the ordinary, a flash of transcendence that points to forces beyond comprehension. They spark awe not just because they break the rules of nature, but because they seem uniquely bestowed, signs that we are not alone, that some greater power stirs the cosmos. The yearning for miracles is not simply a hunger for spectacle, but for meaning, for reassurance that the universe is more than mere machinery. Yet today, as our technologies accelerate, miracles have become disturbingly familiar. Antibiotics cure infections that once wiped out armies. Vaccines dispel plagues that were once interpreted as divine wrath or cosmic punishment. What would Moses think, seeing a pocket-sized device splitting information like the tablets of Sinai, or a jet lifting us into the sky, defying gravity's ancient command? Arthur C. Clarke famously declared that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, but when the magic is our own, fashioned by human ingenuity, does it still carry the aura of the miraculous? Some would say our triumphs render faith obsolete, that we are steadily replacing the language of gods with the grammar of algorithms. The atheistic scientist smiles at the relics of miracle stories, dismissing them as primitive misunderstandings awaiting rational explanation. But reduction is not replacement. The ancient impulse that produced tales of manna and healing persists, simply translated into another dialect. The gaze that once turned upward in hope now fixes on the white coat in the hospital or the touchscreen in the hand, seeking deliverance not from above, but from ourselves. Yet this transformation is not without unease. When miracles become repeatable, upgradable, purchasable, they lose the shock that once provoked humility and radical gratitude. The very point of a miracle was its exceptionality. It happened not for everyone, but for the chosen, the desperate, the worthy. What does miracle mean in an age where the extraordinary is engineered, bought, and sold? There is an old story, half parable and half rebuke, of a scientist boasting to God, "We can now make a man from dust, just as you did." God replies, "Very well, show me." The scientist gathers a handful of earth, but God stops him, "Get your own dust." Here is the paradox: technology grants us the feats we once begged from the heavens, but it also exposes the hidden ground upon which miracles once rested, mystery. Engineering can explain the mechanics, but it cannot replace the experience of awe that stirs when we sense something immeasurable pressing through the envelope of reality. Cathedrals hum with memory because they point beyond stone and mortar, not despite it. A healing touch feels miraculous not only for its outcome, but for what it says about our place in a web of existence that exceeds us. Philosophers from Augustine to Kierkegaard wrestled with the meaning of miracles. Augustine approached them as signs, moments in which the ordinary becomes transparent to the extraordinary, reminders that the world is brimming with significance if only we have eyes to see. Kierkegaard, skeptical of cheap proofs, argued that true faith is not built on spectacle, but on the elite, the existential risk that trusts even when evidence is absent. In a society dazzling itself with endless innovation, perhaps faith mutates rather than disappears. It becomes the stubborn insistence that, no matter how many wonders we produce, the hunger for meaning abides. Consider how grief persists despite medicine's interventions, how forgiveness transcends algorithmic logic, how love and beauty retain their power even when their biochemistry is mapped. Our finest technologies can delay death, but cannot answer the raw ache of loss or the question of what is finally worth the days we're given. Religion, in its deepest sense, is not simply a catalogue of miracles but a sustained response to awe and finitude. When technology manufactures the miraculous, religion is challenged, but may also be purified, forced to confront what truly lies at its core. Perhaps the future of faith will be found not by clinging to literal miracles, but by rediscovering wonder in every corner of reality, engineered or otherwise. The ancient psalmist marveled that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, long before microscopes revealed the dizzying ballet within each cell. Today, the challenge is learning to be astonished anew, even and especially by the marvels we build ourselves. The border between divine and human is not simply a line to be crossed, but a mystery to be honored, a recognition that, however far our powers reach, the urge for reverence abides. So what happens to religion when miracles become man-made? It is confronted with its own inmost question: do we seek marvels for their own sake, or for the horizons of meaning they reveal? The miracle, it turns out, is not just in the breaking of the rules, but in our eternal desire to be surprised by the world, and perhaps, just perhaps, by something greater than ourselves gazing back through the marvels we have made.